Hello there, friends and neighbors. It is me, Matt Silverman. Thank you again for spending another week here on the Influence Podcast, for hanging out, for listening, for participating, and, just chilling in our community. I am here to share that yesterday, which is in the past by the time you're listening to this, but I mean, look, yesterday's always in the past if you do the math. But just placing this conversation in time, yesterday had truly a really powerful, dare I say, potentially life-changing. That's a really strong way to put it, but perspective-changing for sure. A perspective-changing conversation with a wonderful woman named Amanda Lee, who has become a patient advocate, a healthcare advocate, a medical advocate for people with cancer, not specifically with colon cancer, but her story is rooted in her experience where she had really debilitating intestinal issues, went to a doctor. This is the short version because you gotta listen to this. This will come out next week, next Wednesday, a week from the day that you are getting this in your feed. She went to the doctor with serious intestinal stomach situations going on. And she was like, hey, I am unable to eat. I haven't eaten in like weeks, months. Like I'm eating applesauce and that's all I can eat, And the doctor said to her, well, maybe that's not such a bad thing because, you seem to be overweight. So, that's good on you. And she was so rightfully incensed and upset and emotional. And through the power of friendships and support systems, but also her own anger and just, being floored by this asshole of a doctor, she talked about it on TikTok. She made a very emotional video on TikTok in her car in the parking lot of this doctor's office. And then went to sleep, went to bed that night, woke up, and her TikTok had gone crazy viral and was filled with comments, paragraphs long comments from other women on the internet telling her that she needs to run to get a colonoscopy right now, right away. Women sharing their stories that they had also had similar experiences with doctors dismissing their serious medical issues and then suffering consequences. So she was able to get a colonoscopy a couple days later. Turns out stage 3 colon cancer, and pursued treatment with an actual good doctor shortly after that. And in TLDR, TikTok comments saved her life, and she has turned that story and that journey into patient advocacy. And she is now saving the lives of other women through her social media content and her IRL online advocacy for other patients. And her story is incredible. She is just a wonderful person. And we both got a little bit emotional during the interview. So that's the tease. That's the setup. And hopefully I didn't spoil too much because there is a lot more to that story. But I really did want to just say I can't wait to put it together. I can't wait to publish it. and I can't wait to share it with you because it really meant a lot to me. And she's lovely. She's wonderful, and she was brought to me by a listener. Someone was like, "Hey, I follow her, and this is really important to me, and I think this might be relevant to your show." And I said, "Hell yeah!" And so we had been finding ways to get that on the schedule for a little while now. So stay tuned for next week with Amanda. God damn, so worth it. So worth your time. I promise. Meanwhile, I do hope that you are finding ways to cope with what is happening in our world. And if you are in the US, what is happening in our country. But, populism and authoritarianism is all the rage throughout this great earth and internet of ours. So I hope that you are finding ways to reckon with it. We have here in this household, we have, realized that we are going through the stages of grief in whatever abbreviated time, true shock and disbelief, true, how could this happen? How could this be happening? Um, Periods of real despair of like, there is no hope. How can we recover from this? And periods of deep sadness, and then now periods of we do now need to sort of shield ourselves from day-to-day news. My wife and I come from a world of media and journalism, and it's especially hard for her to not get like notifications and updates from news outlets about things that are going on in the world. And it is hard for me to, not open Reddit, because Reddit is just a great place for me to get information about the communities and hobbies and topics that I care deeply about, many of which are relevant to the show. But also when you pop open that front page and you are subscribed to, things like r/news and world news and r/politics and whatever, it is just endless. There's no reprieve from those headlines. So we are making conscious efforts to say we are continuing to be engaged, and we are continuing to be educated with regard to everything that's happening. But we are also protecting our mental health whenever possible, taking a break now and taking extended breaks, with the understanding that we continue to participate in democracy, but also we are not in control of who gets appointed to what, and what plans are in place, and who's mad about what, and who's shouting about what, and what conspiracy theories are here and there, and what. We are not in control of that. And it's a double-edged sword, because I feel very powerless about all of it, which is a really bad feeling. And simultaneously, I'm trying to feel empowered to take control of my own media consumption so that I can continue to, function, work, be a parent, be a spouse, a partner. So I hope that you are also finding ways to I don't know. For everyone, it's different. Are you finding ways to distract yourself? Are you finding ways to protect yourself? Are you finding ways to get angry and get activated? Is that the therapy that works for you? There is no right or wrong answer. I hope that you are finding a way to whatever is keeping you on track and going, because it's not over, and by that I mean, democratic discourse and civil society is not over yet. And we must take the longest view to make sure that whatever happens next and whatever the next 4 years are, we are getting through it and looking ahead and documenting so that we can find a way out of this nightmare, a truly fascist nightmare, and come out on the other side with something to show for it. I value your thoughts and opinions and methods on this, because I tend to be a person who really thinks and overthinks a lot about various things and then arrives at a conclusion that I can get behind, that I can live with, that I can move forward with. And it's rarely perfect, and it's rarely fully educated, and we can only be as informed as we can possibly muster. But usually on issues of gravity and existential philosophy, I am like, well, I've thought about this, and I've read this, and I've watched this, and I've considered this, and I've come to the conclusion X that works for me. And for the first time in so long, I don't fully have a conclusion on what to do and what to think, So I truly value this listening community's thoughts and insights on that. And those could be personal, whatever you are doing to figure this out. And they can also be, hey, I read this cool thing. I read this interesting take. I watched this fascinating TikTok. And that has informed my thinking, whatever it might be. I hope you'll share it in the Discord. You'll shoot over an email, maybe call in and share a voicemail, and leave it in the comments of this very YouTube video if you're watching the video version. So I look out for those. I hope you're doing well. And now I'm thrilled to share with you that the talk of the town, truly nothing more important going on in the world than this phenomenal typo on Mattel's dolls for the upcoming film Wicked. Wicked, of course, the film adaptation of the hit Broadway musical. Is it Sondheim? I should know this. Let's see. Wicked composer. Schwartz. Why do I get those confused? Stephen Schwartz and Stephen Sondheim are mixed up in my brain, and I don't know why. But the hit Stephen Schwartz musical Wicked, which, if you have been living under a rock for the last decade, is, of course, the story of how the Wicked Witch of the West and Glinda, the witch, the good witch, quote unquote, grew up together, and how the witch became wicked. It's a brilliant show, and it's a brilliant piece of Wizard of Oz fan fiction. I wonder if it is canonical. I don't know how that would work. Of like, does the estate of the original author say, yes, this is part of the lore, this is part of the canon? I'd be interested to look that up. But the top story of the day, of the week here, is that Mattel has made licensed, I don't know that they are Barbie dolls, but let's call them Barbie adjacent dolls of the characters from Wicked. And so you have Glinda in the Barbie box, and she looks really, really quite like Ariana Grande, and the Wicked the Wicked Witch, the Elphaba actor, whose name is escaping me now. I apologize, but they look wonderful. And on the back of the box, there are, just all the details and the manufacturer details and the barcode and all the normal retail packaging things. And on the back of the box, there is, hey, check out more about the movie, the Wicked movie in theaters on this day. I think it's November or something. In theaters in November. And check out more information at www.wicked.com. And I'm here to tell you that if you go to that website, that is a website for Wicked Pictures, which is an adult pornography website. That apparently this Wicked Pictures has been doing adult films on the internet, but I'm sure on VHS or DVD since 1993. I think I was reading in an incognito browser this morning. So Mattel has recalled whatever hundreds of thousands, millions of these dolls from retail store shelves because somebody, some poor soul, and my heart goes out to them, put this package together and put the wrong website. I think the website was probably supposed to be wickedmovie.com and instead just did wicked.com. So thousands of dolls for children now currently linked to a porn site. And I just think that's tremendous and delightful and unfortunate for whatever team or department put this all together for what is clearly going to be the biggest movie release of 2024. Just funny. This is from CNBC. The toy company's been forced to pull its line of character dolls after the packaging misprint. This is Universal Pictures. Quote, Mattel was made aware of a misprint on the packaging of the Mattel Wicked collection dolls, primarily sold in the US, which intended to direct consumers to the official wickedmovie.com landing page. Mattel said in a statement, we deeply regret this unfortunate error and are taking immediate action to remedy this. Parents are advised that the misprinted incorrect website is not appropriate for children. Consumers who already have the product are advised to discard the product packaging or obscure the link and may contact Mattel customer service for further information. This also makes me think that if you have already purchased the doll, or if you have grabbed those from store shelves, if you work at Target and you've snatched one, the misprinted packaging will be worth some money in 10 to 12 years when these become more and more rare. And it also makes me wonder about manufacturing. Like, okay, Mattel will pull these all back and they will then somehow they're not going to throw the dolls away, I assume. This is a great question. Is it cheaper to just incinerate every freaking doll that ever existed? All the packages, throw them in the incinerator and just manufacture new ones? Or pay some sort of minimum wage employees or robots to pull, unpack the cardboard, pull out the plastic clamshell, and then insert those one by one into new packages. Because you have to believe that whatever Chinese factory, the manufacturing process is some sort of layered process where it's like, and it's all on some assembly line. Maybe there's humans, maybe there's not. But the process of disassembling a single package without damaging the merchandise and then repackaging it into a new cardboard sleeve with the one change being a single word in a URL. It's just delicious and delightful and fascinating and amazing. So it's an internet story because it's a URL, and it is a fun social media story because everyone's having a field day. So, hey, if you got a Galinda or an Elphaba with the wicked.com URL. Do not open that. Mint condition, baby. Put it in a locker, put it in a sealed, vacuum sealed package, because your children's college education depends on selling that doll in 15 years. So you know what to do. Meanwhile, Blue Sky, which is the decentralized, what are we calling it these days? Social media app, but are we saying it's a microblogging? It's a Twitter-esque competitor. Has added 700,000 users in 1 week, mostly in the US, and we assume because Twitter X is completely and utterly unhinged. Its CEO, who is a total, absolute piece of shit, a shit stain of a human being, has just become completely unhinged in recent weeks, as you have obviously seen, and has, just allowed Twitter, which I used to love, has allowed it to become just a cesspool of unregulated is not the right word, but unmoderated. That's the word. Thank you, brain. Unmoderated, unsafe, white supremacist, hate speech, conspiracy, alt-right. It's just this horrible, horrible shit. And just also like amplifying his own stupid shit and using it as a megaphone for his own personal fucking shit. And this has been going on for months, obviously, but his collusion with Trump and alt-right and whatever, and using Twitter as the mouthpiece for that, has just really... I'm a hypocrite because it's been going on for so long and I have not left the platform. But there is this now moment and sea change with the election. And also, my wife has brought to my attention, crystal clear, news articles and commentators like Kara Swisher, journalist Kara Swisher, and others, who have noted that the terms of service of X have changed recently to indicate that it is gone full cesspool in terms of moderation and hate speech. And also that by using the platform, you are just consenting to allowing, this shitstains AI company or companies to use your tweets and data and media to train its AI models for whatever fucking nefarious purposes. If you want to just say, hey, I don't want my material used to train AI, that's one layer of it. But hey, I don't want my materials to be used to train AI to weaponize politics. That's the second layer. And I'm sure the rabbit hole goes deeper than that. So clearly, this is notable. So this is from The Verge. Blue Sky has gained more than 700,000 new users in the last week. It's a lot of users in 1 week, and now has 14.5 million users total, according to Blue Sky's COO Rose Wong, who confirmed this to The Verge. The majority, quoted, of the new users on the decentralized social network are from the US. Wong says the CEO's name is spelled W-A-N-G. So I apologize. I don't know if it's Wang or Wong. We have some friends in the neighborhood who spell it that way, and their name is Wong. So I'm going to say Wong. The app is currently the number 2 free social networking app in the US App Store, only trailing Meta's Threads. I didn't know what to make of that statement. That can't be number 2 like by users. It must be like number 2 by like the week of downloads. that I have to interpret it that way, because like obviously there are other apps that have way more concurrent users than 14 million users or 700,000 users. So I guess what they are saying here is that it is, within the last week, it is the second most downloaded free social media app behind Threads. But Threads, which has 275 million monthly users, is still significantly larger than Blue Sky, which we know. Threads is basically just, obviously, Instagram forcing Threads down people's throats, and then people are like, "What's Threads?" And then Threads now has lots of users, quote unquote, and that's a whole other thing. Blue Sky is also, this is according to The Verge, becoming an increasingly better app with recently added features like pinned posts, support for posting videos. That's good for me. And the ability to send DMs. You can also create and select custom feeds to follow, and allows for building starter packs to quickly find posters you may already be familiar with. So the app is maturing, and there's this tide. There's also these rumors. I don't know how substantiated this is, but this comes from some discussion I was having with my wife and the sources that she was sharing with me, which is like that Musk would merge or somehow combine X with Truth Social, which is Trump's fucking psychotic whatever platform. I don't know if any of that is substantiated, but by golly, sure, it is certainly plausible that could somehow come to fruition, especially in a world where there is a mass exodus from Twitter, and they need to somehow merge those numbers together to create some alt-right fascist hellscape, and then, I don't know, have a big user number or have some big user base, and then what? And then what? What fucking advertisers, what brands are going to run ads on that hellscape? Who the fuck knows? But I guess so it is an interesting little bit of news there that I wanted to share. And then just like from a personal perspective, there are more important things to be sad about, obviously, but I feel sad and reluctant. I was saying to my wife yesterday, I was like, I'm thrilled to stop posting there, to stop engaging there, to stop putting content on this platform. But I'm mostly very sad to delete it or deactivate it or whatever it is that we want to do, that we should be doing, because historically, Twitter has been a really valuable and wonderful community for me personally. It is also a place where I had been very fortunate to be the beneficiary of, being part of various media companies and having my content become very visible. That comes with the trappings of, hey, follow this author, follow this producer, whatever you become, whatever we became in 2009, 2010, and beyond. People who cared about the work would follow, and then you would be able to engage in conversations. You'd be able to promote your wares and content there, and you'd be able to, it was a mechanism for getting the word out about your projects, the things you cared very passionately about, in addition to keeping in touch and staying connected with other like-minded and interesting people. And for that history, and for that content, and for those relationships to just be deleted and obliterated in one or two clicks, just sucks. I really have this psychological aversion to deleting things or to redoing things. I have this feeling like everything must, like, things that I build and things that I make they start from nothing and they must grow and accrue. And so it is frustrating when they don't grow and accrue, and whatever that is, audience, like, size. This is why we love video games so much, is because when you play those games, uh, you level up. You never level down in your favorite video game. The numbers always go up, and it's that great feeling of things getting bigger and more complex and more interesting and more have more stuff. So yeah, one of my like psychological pet peeves is I worked really hard on this and it did not come out exactly right, so I have to redo it, and I have lost all that work that I've just done, which, intellectually we know is not entirely true. We learn from everything that we uh, fail at, or do not or let's say do not fully succeed at. So always the thing you do next to do better is always better than the thing that didn't quite come out. But for me personally, and I don't think this is rare, I'm sure many folks you who are listening, yourself included, can relate. It's like, it just is like, fuck, I just did all this and now I have to do it again, or I have to throw it in the trash. Much like those Mattel dolls for the Wicked movie. So it really, really hurts and feels sad and disappointing to take when did I join Twitter? Probably 2010. Is that right? And it's 2024, almost 2025. So is this like, is this 15 years of tweets? And I know that like tweets seem so trivial, but like we spent so much time and effort. I love Twitter for comedy. Like I loved crafting the perfect Twitter joke. I loved putting memes and videos and GIFs and whatever, like, and just having little moments on Twitter where everyone was gathered around this moment in the zeitgeist to discuss or laugh or get passionate about something. And to just throw that all in the trash, it just feels like a piece of your personal history, a piece of the historical record thrown away. And it's sad that our lives are that we are documenting our lives on the servers of private companies who are owned by billionaires who may or may not be or become such fucking pieces of shit. It's a real lesson that is very clear. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but it's a hard lesson to learn. That all of this, our culture, our lives, our friends, our connections, our relationships are like bundled up in these companies. And that's a bad place for your social well-being to live. So, all that to say, did I park my account name on Blue Sky? I definitely did on Threads. So I got to get on that. And I got to set that up and then figure out when I will be emotionally ready to fucking shut off Twitter for good. And as a data hoarder, I'm going to download my data. That's hopefully still a thing. And what am I going to do with that? Probably nothing, but you never know. You know why? Because, I don't know, in my business, in my world, hey, remember when I tweeted with that funny person and they are like, do cool YouTube videos? Wouldn't it be cool to connect with them about a project? Or maybe I should get them for an interview. Oh, wouldn't it? Hey, this podcaster YouTuber blew up. And remember in 2012 when I like had a funny DM with that person, like that is valuable to my work. My inboxes, where I connect with lots of very notable and interesting people, is valuable. So I cannot throw it away. I still need access to it. But I do need to close it down forever and remove it from the clutches of a shit-stained billionaire who thinks that fascism is pretty cool, a cool look. Let me know if you're doing the same. I don't want to pressure. This is not. I do not judge anyone if they are not they're not ready to do this or not in a position to do it. Because I should have done it long ago, and I am still not ready to do it. It sucks, and whatever you decide to do, I hope it works for you. That's all. Speaking of shutting off your social media accounts, that's not a transition. I don't know how to get from here to Patreon, but speaking of internet platforms that are crappy, here's one that's not crappy: Patreon.com, which is a place where internet creators can fuck all those algorithms and get out of here, toxic bullshit, white supremacy, shit-stained billionaire CEOs. Over here, we're building community, and we are sustaining the creativity of amazing people on the internet. And hopefully, if you will humor me, I aspire to be one of those creative people who continue to make a living on the World Wide Web, thanks to the generous support of patrons like you. Thank you to everyone who contributes at any tier, including the free tier. You can subscribe to the Patreon over at notinfluence.com. That's not a... Hey, like wicked.com. I don't even know where influence.com goes. Go to an incognito browser and let me know if it goes to a porn website. That'd be cool. But in fact, the correct URL is patreon.com/influencepod, where you can sign up for a tier that is right for you, which includes, some perks. Maybe we'll figure out if there is some bonus content that makes sense for this show. But for now, the executive producers who contribute at the $10 or more level are Duran, William, Dominic Kerr, and of course, Bowie Barks. Thank you so much for sticking with me through all these weeks and months. And if you're a longtime listener of the show, many, many years, this has been going, and we are so proud of it. And I am really, really thrilled that I get to keep doing this and getting to interview amazing people that I've been had the good fortune of in recent weeks to connect with. And again, this interview coming up next week just truly changed my perspective, truly moved me, very emotional, very powerful, and I'm really lucky that I get to do that. And I hope that sharing that with you is part of your life, part of your day. Thank you again. All we keep saying and thinking about when it comes to the YouTube supremacy, the kings and queens of YouTube, mostly kings, unfortunately. The PewDiePies, the what is it, the T channel, whatever that Indian channel is. But of course, the Mr. Beasts of the world, Mr. Beast being the most subscribed YouTuber currently and of all time. Well, watch out, sir, because a gentleman named Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't know, was he some fashion influencer, maybe like a TikToker or something? No, he's one of the world's most famous soccer players. Forgive me, I don't follow sports and I don't follow soccer, but obviously when you talk about professional soccer, you have your Messis and you have your Mbappes and you have your Cristiano Ronaldo. And I was really fascinated to learn. This comes from a website called CompleteSports.com, which you know, I don't know. I don't know if this website is reputable or not, but their coverage of this has been re-reported by a variety of reputable sources. So, this is a lot of speculation, but I think the numbers are here, and they are clear, and they are projecting what might be in store for the future. According to CompleteSports.com, Cristiano Ronaldo is projected to surpass Mr. Beast as YouTube's top star. A very subjective term, but we'll get into that. By August 2026, so a little more than a year and a half from now, Ronaldo might become the world's biggest quote unquote YouTuber, with potential earnings of $99 million along the way. Is that total earnings? Is that per year? This is not entirely clear. Grain of salt with all this. According to CompleteSports.com, Ronaldo's current growth rate suggests he could achieve the 210 million subscribers needed within 22 months. So, maybe more like 2 years, requiring an average of 6.5 million new subscribers each month. Meaning, if he continues to gain 6.5 million new subscribers each month between now and August 2026, he will surpass Mr. Beast as the most subscribed YouTuber on the platform. And this is based on what is currently happening, which is that Ronaldo set a new record by gaining 1 million subscribers in 90 minutes on August 21st, 2024. With a total of 20 million subscribers joining on the first day. So the point to summarize, Ronaldo joined YouTube on August 21st of this year, gained 1 million subscribers in 90 minutes, and 20 million subscribers within the first 24 hours. That is unreal. And I want to split hairs here because there's a distinction here that I also make for this show in terms of editorial criteria. There's lots of things and people and companies and brands and celebrities on the internet. There are a lot of people who are famous who join TikTok and YouTube and whatever, start podcasts and instantly become massively subscribed and viewed and liked and shared and whatever. And that's all well and good. But I guess I'm going to say that it is cheating, quote unquote. I'm putting air quotes up here. Because if you are already famous from being a professional athlete, or being a movie star, or being a Taylor Swift, whatever, then obviously you're going to have millions of views and subscribers and likes and shares and whatever the minute you join a platform. So, like, if Taylor Swift started a podcast and became super popular, and then Taylor Swift's PR manager said, "Hey, would you like to interview Taylor Swift? Because she started a podcast, and I think your audience would like to know that." I might have to decline, because this show is about people who have used the internet to build a community, an audience, a social movement, an imprint on the world. And Jimmy Donaldson, Mr. Beast, like him or not, with current controversies ongoing, we've discussed it here, of course. He was just a kid who started doing stuff on YouTube and then became the world's largest and most popular YouTuber, and arguably became like the face of YouTube culture. And that is different from Cristiano Ronaldo, arguably the world's most famous soccer player, saying, "Hey, y'all like soccer? Well, what about these? Hey, what if I put some soccer videos on YouTube?" And then bajillions and gazillions of people being like, "Whoa, soccer!" It's great. It's awesome. It's there. I checked out his channel. It's very highly produced content. It's very well done. It's not just Ronaldo in his bedroom being like, "Hey, what's up with soccer today?" Um, you know, so it's really neither here nor there. I just wanted to point out that there's a bit of apples and oranges when we say like the world's largest YouTuber is going to be a world famous soccer player. The most streamed music on YouTube is by major label let me put it this way. The most viewed videos on YouTube and the most viewed videos that have ever been on YouTube in the last 10 to 15 years have all been hit songs by major label record artists. So does that mean that Adele is like a big, super popular YouTuber? I would classify that differently. So I just think this is interesting. I think it's fascinating, and this really came out of nowhere for me because like this is we're in mid-November, so this is only a couple months ago that Ronaldo even joined YouTube, and this growth is astronomical, but very explainable and plausible. It is not a rags to riches story. It is a riches to riches story of YouTube. And yeah, so this is fascinating to see. I would like to continue watching the chart of like, okay, he's growing crazy fast. If his growth is exactly like this, he will surpass Mr. Beast at this time. Does that take into account, is Mr. Beast still growing? Is Mr. Beast losing followers or subscribers or engagement because of these controversies? Are there enough soccer fans who have not discovered Ronaldo's soccer channel to attach themselves? Will there be more of those people? Will there be less of those people? Will Ronaldo be canceled or somehow in the future, in the next 6 months, and then, oh my God, some soccer controversy? Anything can happen between now and then, but it's fun to watch this horse race, and I find it to be a fascinating story. Final little tidbit of the week, and I'm sorry to save the best for last. My God, I love this so much, and I love it so much that I may not even talk about it a ton here because I've already reached out to relevant parties to try to get an interview and do a full devoted episode on this. And truly, I have a handful of really phenomenal guests lined up. I cannot wait to share them with you and to do those shows. But suddenly, this story has rocketed to the top of my priority list because the most mysterious song on the internet has finally been identified. This is news to me. I wish I had been following it, and I wish I'd known about it sooner. But I am suddenly eating lots of popcorn in my research of unpacking and going back to try to figure out what this was all about. 404 Media has a really good recap of this, so I will kind of give you the bullet points here. But again, I cannot wait to cover this in depth. One of the oldest mysteries on the internet has been solved. For almost 2 decades, a moody song recorded off the radio in Germany has bedeviled online sleuths. Dubbed the most mysterious song on the internet by those who sought to find it, it has finally been discovered. Bear with me. Sometime around 1984, people in Germany recorded a song off of a local radio station. The sister of the person who recorded the cassette, this is a person named Lydia, who goes by Blue Lee on Reddit, uploaded a digital copy of the song to several web forums in 2007. Then in 2019, Reddit got involved. A user named Gabaskins posted the song, this mysterious song that nobody knew what it was or what it was called or who made it, to 44 different music subreddits to try to figure out, like, hey, does anyone know what this is? No one has been able to identify this. Eventually, a community coalesced around identifying the song called r/the mysterious song. This was in 2019. And later that year, it caught the attention of a YouTuber named Just Wang, Whang, who made a video about it. And maybe this video, which I have to check it out. Maybe this video went a bit viral and brought it to more attention. And so this subreddit called r/the mysterious song has been working since 2019 to figure out what this song is, where it's from, who made it, etc. Earlier this week or last week, a Reddit user by the name of Margin1412 has cracked the case. They came across an old newspaper article in the Nordwest Zeitung. I don't know. This is a German regional newspaper. So this was about 2 weeks ago, as of this article. Quote, the article was about a band called Fex, F-E-X, from Kiel, who won a talent contest in Bremen in September 1984, and their music was described as rock with wave and pop influences. End quote. This is from the Reddit user Margin1412. Margin said they recognized one of the names, which is Michael Hadrick, in the newspaper as a member of a band at Horfest 83, and the band is called Fret. I managed to get in touch with him and asked him if he still had old material from those old bands. He then sent me some of the songs he made with Fex and Fret, and lo and behold, one of them was titled Subways of Your Mind, and it matched the mystery song that people have been searching for 2 decades. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. It's tied. Okay, here are the 3 greatest things I've ever seen on the internet. Number 1 is Ships of the Northern Fleet, which we've covered on this feed. But if you don't remember or not, or if you're a newer listener, it was a guy on TikTok who said, "What if we all pretend to remember a show from the '90s called Ships of the Northern Fleet, and we just make it up as we go?" And then thousands of people began improvising in real time about remembering a show that didn't exist, and everyone got in on the joke, and it confused a lot of people on the internet, and people made wikis about all the characters and the plot lines and the seasons, and people made fake merch about a show that didn't exist, and people wrote articles in the New York Times about a show that never existed that everyone remembers. That's my favorite thing of all time that's ever been on the internet. My number 2 favorite thing of all time that's ever been on the internet, which was back in 2011, 2012, something like that. A guy on the New York City subway found a cryptic piece of paper, a code that said, if you can solve this, there's more information to come. And he posted it on Reddit, and then thousands of people on Reddit figured out how to decipher the code. And it was a code that said, meet me here at this time. And then the person found another piece of paper or a post or something that said, hey, you shouldn't have gotten help from the internet, so you cheated, so now you have to decipher this on your own. And then we were covering it at the time, and we were in New York City, and we ran down and had cameras, and we were supposed to meet this guy, and there was a crowd of people who were reading the coverage, who were in the subreddit being like, it was like the subway code, and they all were there. And the guy who was deciphering the code showed up, and then this other strange man who may have been the secret code master, or may have just been like, an unhoused person was walking by and we were like, are you the guy? And who is it? And it was just this unbelievable, like, cryptic, secret, creepy thing where that the entire internet and New York City was like, what could this be? Is it the CIA? Is it marketing for the new Batman movie? Is it some cipher? Is it some, secret society? It was the coolest online / IRL thing that we got to cover in real time. And I didn't even work in the news department. I was not like a news person, but I became so me and my friend, who's probably listening to this right now, got so obsessed with the Reddit subway code that we tried to solve it. And ultimately, I think whoever was leaving these cryptic messages disappeared. The person who was trying to solve them deleted his account because I think he was getting threats or disturbing messages. The internet's awesome. Internet's awesome. Everyone came together to do a cool thing. And then, of course, the internet is not awesome because people were leaving death threats or threatening his family. For what reason? We don't know. Those are the two coolest things on the internet. And my friends, here, a mystery song that people have been searching for 2 decades. And Reddit finally figured it out this past week. That's my third favorite thing. And I really want to interview this person or a member of the community, or I saw in the sub. So what is happening now is that the subreddit has historically been like, is this a clue? What about this? Maybe it's this. What have we analyzed this part of it? Who's working on what? And now the subreddit is, we found it, and here's the guy, and he's doing interviews, and he's doing an AMA. The person who wrote the song or the member of the band that the community is now in touch with has become aware that the internet has been searching for him for 2 decades. He did not know, and now he's doing media appearances and he's doing an AMA on the subreddit, which might be happening as I speak or later this week or whatever, or maybe has already happened. So I cannot wait to watch YouTube videos. I cannot wait to read this AMA. I've reached out to this Reddit user who has solved the case, and I cannot move forward with my life without doing an episode on this. So please stay tuned for that. And I was very excited to share it with you. I think that's it for me. I hope you're taking care of yourself and you're taking care of those you love. And I will remind you that distractions and self-care and connecting and talking and just being part of the real wider world, being part of real life and seeing that the world is not disintegrating, not yet anyway, is good. And however you are coping, that is what's right for you. And if you have not found a way to cope, reach out to our community, reach out to me, or reach out to the people you love, because they're feeling it too. And just talking about it, just being angry out loud with other people who are not just internet commenters and news articles. It will not solve it, but it really will help. So please take care of yourself. And as always, please be kind, just in general. But also please be kind and rewind your podcasts after you're done listening to them. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will talk at you in 1 week's time.